Bonjour, je m'appelle Peter Ricketts. J'ai été diplomate britannique pendant plus de 40 ans. Mon dernier poste entre 2012 et 2016, c'était ambassadeur en France. Quel bonheur! Depuis, je suis en retraite de la fonction publique, basée à Londres, et je siège à la Chambre de Lords. Et pour éviter de vous ennuyer avec mon français, je vais basculer dans la langue de Shakespeare pour me présenter plus en détail. I'm truly honoured to be proposed today by the Nomination Committee as an independent non-executive director, and I would like to set out to you very briefly the experience that I believe I can bring to the board in that role. First, I have owned a house in Normandy for the last 25 years, so my family and I have been very regular users of the shuttle many times a year, and if elected to the board, I would have a strong focus on the customer experience of using Eurotunnel. Secondly, I would bring long experience of the British government. I was the permanent secretary of the British Foreign Office, equivalent of le secrétaire général au Quai d'Orsay. I was then the National Security Advisor, appointed by David Cameron in 2010, and therefore the Prime Minister's closest foreign policy, security and defence advisor. I've kept many friends in senior positions in the British administration, and I hope therefore I could be helpful on the board given the extensive links between Getlink and the British government. Thirdly, my wife and I have been passionate Francophiles throughout our married life. We've had the great opportunity to have 2 tours of duty in Paris, first in the 1990s, then as ambassador. I am deeply committed to strengthening the links that bind Britain and France, and I passionately believe that Getlink has an important role to play in that endeavour. During my time as British ambassador, I worked very closely with Jacques Gounon over the difficult period in 2015 of the migrant crisis around Calais, and working closely with the company and with the French and British administrations, I was very involved in the security measures that the British government funded to increase the safety and security of the Coquelles terminal. I'm very relieved to see now that the pressure of migrants is less, but vigilance is essential, and that would again be one of my focuses if I was elected to the board. From that difficult period in 2015, I retain a profound sense of how important it is that traffic should continue to flow in a fluid way through the tunnel, both passengers and freight, and the problems that immediately arrive if that is interrupted. I've watched with admiration as the company responded first to Britain's departure from the EU and then the COVID-19 pandemic. Problems will continue to come up, and I would look forward to playing my part on the board in helping the company to respond to them. I think it's particularly impressive that just at this time of great turbulence in the energy markets in Europe, Getlink is able to inaugurate the new electricity interconnector through the tunnel. That's just another way in which the Channel Tunnel plays such an important part in the relationship between Britain and France. Let me, in conclusion, touch briefly on 2 other aspects of my experience. First, for the last 5 years, I've been a non-executive member of the NG board. NG is a company going through a profound transformation as it moves towards renewable sources of energy. My experience there, therefore, makes me very focused on the role that the corporate sector has to play in the move towards a zero-carbon economy, and I'm excited at the contribution that Getlink is making to that. Finally, I mentioned that I'm privileged to sit as a member of the House of Lords in the UK. As part of my duties, I'm a member of the Justice and Home Affairs Committee, which has been taking a particular interest in the issue of border controls between the EU and the UK, which I think will continue to be an important issue for the company. And I therefore hope I can add my part to the debate on that issue too. I hope that I've said enough to convince you of my passionate commitment to UK-French relations and my excitement at the prospect of serving on the Getlink board. if you are kind enough to give me your vote now. Thank you very much. Merci et à très bientôt, j'espère.